Urgent, Luka Doncic talks about selling the Lakers. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything about the Lakers. The NBA world was rocked by breaking news. The Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most iconic franchises in sports history, had been sold. Mark Walter, a billionaire businessman and owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, had finalized the purchase of the Lakers for a staggering $10 billion, the highest price ever paid for a sports team. The news sent shockwaves across the league. Fans, analysts, and players all wondered what this seismic shift meant for the future of the purple and gold. But one reaction stood out from the rest. That of Luka Doncic, the superstar guard who had recently arrived in Los Angeles in a blockbuster trade from the Dallas Mavericks. For Luka, this moment wasn't just about a change in ownership. It represented a new chapter, both for the franchise and for his own career. Speaking to the media just hours after the sale was officially announced, Doncic expressed a mixture of excitement and determination. "The Lakers are an incredible organization," Luka said with a confident smile. "I'm excited to meet Mark Walter and see where this team is headed. I'm also thankful to Jeannie Buss and her family for welcoming me to Los Angeles. It's great to know she's staying involved. I'm ready to work with both of them to bring championships back to LA." The presence of Jeannie Buss, the long-standing face of the Lakers ownership, remaining in a leadership role offered stability during this transition. Her decision to stay involved in the front office wasn't just a formality, it was a sign of continuity, blending the Lakers' historic identity with a bold new vision for the future. Behind the scenes, Mark Walter wasted no time making his intentions clear. Known for his commitment to building competitive teams, as he had proven with the Dodgers in Major League Baseball, Walter made it clear that he expected nothing less than greatness from the Lakers. Massive investments in player development, cutting-edge sports science, and front office analytics were already being discussed. While the headlines focused on the ownership change, insiders revealed that Luka Doncic had been quietly aware of the pending sale weeks before it became public. As one of the franchise's cornerstone players, he was given advance notice, not just as a courtesy, but as a sign of trust in his role as the new face of the team. This wasn't lost on Doncic. Having spent his early years with the Dallas Mavericks, where he evolved from a European sensation into a global NBA superstar, Luka understood the weight of being the focal point of a franchise. But this was different. This was the Lakers, a team where banners, not participation, defined success. The NBA world buzzed with reactions. LeBron James, still a key figure in the locker room despite transitioning into more of a veteran mentor role, expressed comfort with the change in ownership. According to The Athletic, LeBron was completely supportive of Walter's vision. Even Lakers legend Magic Johnson chimed in, offering high praise for the new owner. Mark Walter is the perfect person to carry the Lakers brand forward. He respects the history, understands the expectations, and has the resources to make it happen, Magic told reporters. As the dust settled from the ownership transition, attention shifted to the court. Luka Doncic wasn't just any star, he was the player expected to lead the Lakers into their next era of dominance. His arrival had come during the trade deadline in a shocking deal that saw the Lakers part ways with Anthony Davis, signaling a full commitment to building around Luka as the centerpiece. Luka's debut in purple and gold had already been electric. Despite joining mid-season, he averaged 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.5 assists over 28 games, numbers that instantly reignited hope among the Lakers faithful. Now, with a full off-season ahead, new ownership, and a front office ready to spend and innovate, the expectations were clear. This wasn't about simply making the playoffs. It was about restoring the Lakers to their rightful place atop the NBA. As Luka walked off the press stage that day, he paused for a moment, looking at the championship banners hanging high above in the Crypto.com arena. His eyes narrowed, his jaw set with determination. "This is why I'm here," he whispered to himself. "For those banners. For greatness." Little did he know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would not only define his career but also reshape the future of the Los Angeles Lakers. The city of Los Angeles was buzzing. Streets lined with billboards of movie stars now shared space with giant images of Luka Doncic in his Lakers jersey, staring fiercely with the words, "A new era begins," beneath him. The pressure was immediate, but so was the energy. Los Angeles doesn't wait for success, it demands it. Luka knew this better than anyone. Coming from Dallas, where he had built a reputation as one of the most versatile offensive talents in basketball, he now carried the weight of one of the most storied franchises in the world. Wearing the purple and gold wasn't just about basketball. It was about legacy. Behind the scenes, Mark Walter and Jeannie Buss wasted no time setting the tone. Meetings with the front office grew more frequent. Walter emphasized the need for modernization, investing heavily in performance science, player recovery, and analytics. The Lakers were no longer just relying on tradition. They were becoming a forward-thinking machine with Luka as the engine. At the Lakers' practice facility in El Segundo, Luka worked tirelessly. Hours before teammates arrived, he was already on the court, perfecting his step-back three, tightening his ball handling, and fine-tuning his mid-range game. He knew eyes were on him, not just from fans but from legends. Kobe Bryant's legacy still lingered in every corner of the building. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, the ghosts of greatness were ever present. Luka wasn't intimidated. He was inspired. LeBron James, although now taking on more of a mentor role as his career approached its twilight, became an invaluable figure. Their relationship grew quickly. Practices were filled with conversations not just about plays, but about leadership, handling pressure, and what it truly means to wear the Lakers jersey. "This city will love you if you give them everything," LeBron told him one evening after practice. "But they'll never settle for less. Banners, that's all that matters here." Walter's presence wasn't just symbolic. He began reshaping the organization from top to bottom. New assistant coaches were hired, focusing on specialized player development. Cutting-edge sports psychologists were brought in. Even changes to the medical and training staff were made, ensuring that players had access to the best care and recovery protocols in the league. But despite all the off-court changes, the real test would be on the hardwood. The preseason served as a teaser. Luka dazzled with no-look passes, deep threes, and brilliant reads. Fans filled Crypto.com arena earlier than usual, just to catch a glimpse of their new superstar warming up. Commentators started referring to him as the maestro of LA. Still, it wasn't all smooth. Chemistry had to be built. The Lakers roster was in flux, a mixture of veterans seeking a final shot at glory and younger players hoping to prove they belonged on a championship team. There were growing pains, miscommunications, turnovers, defensive lapses. Yet, every mistake was met with correction, every loss with a renewed commitment. The media, as always in LA, was relentless. Every game was scrutinized. Pundits debated daily whether Luka could handle the expectations that came with being the centerpiece of the Lakers. Social media exploded with both praise and criticism after each performance. Through it all, Luka remained focused. "Pressure is a privilege," he often said, quoting tennis legend Billie Jean King, whose words he'd read years earlier. Meanwhile, Jeannie Buss continued to be a calming presence. Her experience navigating the chaotic world of LA sports was invaluable. She balanced Walter's aggressive modernization with an understanding of the Lakers' rich traditions. The two worked together seamlessly, one bringing new energy, the other ensuring the soul of the franchise remained intact. As the regular season approached, it became clear that this was more than just a team trying to win games. This was a project to redefine what the Lakers could be in the modern NBA, a fusion of historical greatness with future-forward thinking. Fans flooded the team's store. Jerseys with Doncic's name sold out within hours. A new mural appeared downtown. Luka mid-step back with the words "Rewrite History" painted in bold gold letters. The stage was set. The lights were brighter than ever. And as opening night loomed, Luka stood at the tunnel entrance, staring out at the packed arena. His heart raced, not with fear but with anticipation. "This is why I came here," he whispered to himself. "This is where legends are made." Little did anyone know the journey ahead would test him, shape him, and ultimately immortalize him in the annals of basketball history. The night had finally arrived. The season opener. Crypto.com arena was alive with electricity, not just from the 20,000 fans packed into the stands, but from the millions watching around the world. This wasn't just any game. It was the official start of the Luka Doncic era in Los Angeles. The energy was unlike anything Luka had experienced before. Dallas had been home, but this was something different. The banners hanging above, 17 in total, told the story of decades of greatness. The ghost of champions lingered in the air, watching, judging, inspiring. Spotlights circled the court. Cameras flashed as celebrities filled courtside seats. Actors, musicians, athletes from other sports. Even Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jerry West were present, seated near Jeannie Buss and Mark Walter. Everyone was here to witness history. As the public address announcer echoed through the arena, the crowd erupted. And starting at guard, standing 6 feet 7 inches from Slovenia, Luka Doncic. The ovation shook the floor. Luka jogged to center court, chest pounding but focus razor sharp. This was his moment. The opponent? None other than the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions. A perfect measuring stick. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green stood on the other side, smirking as if to say, "Welcome to the big stage. Let's see if you belong." The ball tipped. From the opening possession it was clear. Luka was ready. He opened the game with a deep three, followed by a crafty drive to the basket, absorbing contact and finishing through 2 defenders. His vision was on full display, finding cutters, throwing cross-court passes, manipulating the defense as if he were a chess master and everyone else was just learning the game. But Golden State didn't back down. Curry answered with his signature step-back threes. Klay hit from the corner. The Lakers' defense struggled at times to contain the constant movement. Midway through the second quarter, the Lakers were down 12. The crowd grew restless. For a moment, doubt crept in. Timeout. Coach Darvin Ham gathered the team. Luka stood up before the coaches could even start. "Look at me," Luka commanded, eyes scanning his teammates. "We're not backing down. This is our house now. Play like it." Out of the timeout, Luka orchestrated a run. He hit 3 consecutive buckets. 1 step-back 3, 1 turnaround mid-range, and a dazzling N1 layup through traffic. The arena erupted. Momentum had shifted. By halftime, the Lakers had cut the deficit to just 2 points. In the locker room, Mark Walter visited briefly. "No matter what happens tonight," he told Luka, "this is just the start. But if I've learned anything in this city, stars show up when the lights are brightest." Luka nodded. He already knew. The second half was a battle. Each possession felt like a war. The game slowed into a grind, physical, intense. LeBron stepped up, hitting key shots and providing veteran leadership. Young players contributed with key defensive stops. But it was clear who the crowd came to see. With under a minute left, the game was tied at 114. The Lakers had the ball. The entire arena stood. The ball found its way into Luka's hands. Draymond Green picked him up at half court, barking, trying to disrupt him mentally. Luka dribbled down the clock. 10 seconds, 8, 6. He faked left. Crossover right. Dribble behind the back. Step back beyond the arc. Draymond lunged, but it was too late. Luka launched. Swish. The building nearly collapsed from the roar. The Lakers led 117-114 with 3.2 seconds left. Golden State called timeout, but the magic was gone. A final shot clanked off the rim. Buzzer. Victory. Luka threw his fists into the air as teammates mobbed him. Cameras flashed. Commentators screamed his name. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. "This is my city now," he whispered as he hugged LeBron, who grinned with pride. The post-game press conference was pure chaos. Reporters asked the inevitable question. "Luka, what does it mean to start your Lakers career like this?" He smiled. "It means the journey's begun. One game doesn't make a legacy. But tonight we showed the world what's coming." The headlines the next morning were unanimous. Luka Magic takes over Los Angeles. A star is born in purple and gold. The future of the Lakers has arrived. But beneath the celebration, everyone knew this was only game 1 of a long, grueling season. Expectations were sky high. Challenges awaited. For Luka Doncic, the message was clear. The city of Los Angeles had embraced him. Now it was time to repay that trust, with wins, with greatness, with banners. And the journey had only just begun. The victory on opening night was a statement, but it was also a warning. The road ahead would not be easy. The NBA season is a marathon, not a sprint, and for every thrilling win there would be battles, setbacks, and nights when nothing seemed to fall. Luka Doncic knew this. He wasn't new to pressure. But being a Laker brought a different level of expectation. Relentless, unforgiving, and constant. Every city they traveled to, every game they played, the weight of the jersey followed. The early stretch of the season was brutal. Back-to-back games against top contenders. Cross-country road trips. Injuries started to creep in, minor but disruptive. Veteran role players like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura were dealing with nagging issues. Even LeBron, as durable as he had been, began to feel the miles on his legs. Opponents brought their best every night. The Lakers weren't just another team on the schedule, they were the show. And Luka? He was now the main event. Crowds sold out arenas across the country just to watch him. Chants of "overrated" echoed in opposing stadiums, only to be silenced when he sank a dagger three or tossed a no-look assist that left defenders spinning. But not every night was magic. A tough road trip to the East Coast tested the team's resolve. A blowout loss to the Boston Celtics, the Lakers' oldest rival, stung deeply. Luka struggled with turnovers, double teams, and foul trouble. The headlines the next day were brutal. Is Luka ready for this? The Lakers gamble. Too much too soon? Luka sat alone in the locker room after that game, towel over his head, quietly reflecting. Frustration simmered, but so did motivation. LeBron walked over, sat beside him, and patted his knee. Kid, it's part of the journey. You think I didn't take these hits? You learn. You come back. You dominate. And that's exactly what Luka did. The next night in Philadelphia, he exploded for 48 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. Step-backs, floaters, fadeaways, the full arsenal. Every possession looked like a masterclass in offensive control. The Lakers secured a 15-point win, and suddenly the critics went silent, at least for a while. Meanwhile, off the court, Mark Walter and Jeannie Buss continued refining the organization. Trades were being discussed. Rumors swirled about bringing in another defensive-minded big man to help support the roster. The front office was aggressive. They knew Luka couldn't carry the load alone, not if championships were the goal. But something else began brewing during this stretch: chemistry. The kind that only forms in adversity. Late-night plane rides after back-to-back losses turned into film sessions between Luka, LeBron, and the coaching staff. Practices became more intense. Players held each other accountable. Luka's leadership grew naturally. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, that was never his style, but when he spoke, people listened. He demanded excellence not just from himself but from everyone wearing purple and gold. If we're serious about banners, he said one day after practice, then every single possession matters. No plays off. No excuses. By mid-season, the Lakers started to find their rhythm. They went on an 8-game winning streak, including huge wins over Denver, Milwaukee, and Phoenix. Luka was unstoppable, averaging 31 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds during the stretch. The MVP buzz started growing louder. The fans in Los Angeles embraced him fully now. Murals around the city multiplied. Social media lit up with hashtags like #LukaLegacy and #GoldStandard. The doubt that had lingered in the opening weeks was fading. But despite the growing confidence, everyone inside the organization knew the truth. Regular season wins were nice, but in Los Angeles, no one raises banners for regular seasons. It was the playoffs, and only the playoffs, that defined legacies. Luka understood that. And as the All-Star break approached, with the Lakers sitting near the top of the Western Conference standings, his focus sharpened. This is just the beginning, he told reporters. We haven't done anything yet. The real work starts in April. Little did anyone know, the greatest challenges were still waiting. The kind of challenges that would push Luka Doncic beyond his limits, test the very soul of the Lakers, and ultimately decide whether this experiment, this new era, would end in glory or heartbreak. As February arrived, the energy around the NBA shifted. The All-Star break wasn't just a pause in the grind, it was a showcase of the league's brightest stars, a celebration of greatness, and a glimpse into the future of the game. This year, however, all eyes weren't just on the event itself, they were on Luka Doncic. He wasn't just voted into the All-Star game, he was the leading vote-getter, surpassing even household names like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. The message from fans worldwide was clear. Luka Doncic wasn't just a star, he was the face of the league's next generation. The All-Star weekend was held in Chicago, but it might as well have been Los Angeles East. Luka's face was everywhere, on billboards, merchandise, TV promos. Brands lined up to collaborate with him. Reporters swarmed his media appearances, asking everything from his thoughts on the Lakers to his impact on European basketball. "It's humbling," Luka admitted during one press conference. "But none of this happens without my teammates, the Lakers organization, and the fans who believe in me. I'm just getting started." The skills challenge came first, and though Luka participated with his usual mix of effort and playfulness, it was clear he had his eyes on the main event, the All-Star game itself. When the night came, Luka stepped onto the court surrounded by the very best. His team included LeBron, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and Devin Booker. The opposing squad boasted names like Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Edwards, and Jimmy Butler. From the opening tip, Luka made it clear this wouldn't be just an exhibition for him. He opened with a behind-the-back dime to LeBron for a dunk. Next, he drained a logo three. Then another. The crowd roared with each display of his absurd shot-making and creativity. By halftime, he had already posted 21 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. Commentators were buzzing. "This kid isn't just participating, he's putting on a show," one shouted. The second half turned into a duel. Curry tried to match Luka shot for shot. Jokic threw no-look passes. But Luka answered every challenge. Step-back threes. Alley-oops. Even a filthy crossover that sent Jimmy Butler stumbling. With 2 minutes left, the game was tied. The energy in the building shifted from casual to competitive. This was no longer a show, but a real battle for bragging rights. Luka took control. Isolation at the top of the key. A quick hesitation. He blew by his defender and threw down a thunderous one-handed dunk, a rare sight for the guard more known for finesse than power. The crowd exploded. Next possession, Curry pulled from deep. Miss. Rebound Luka. Clock ticking. Luka orchestrated a pick and roll with Embiid, faked the pass, then spun into the lane for a soft floater. Bucket. The opposing team called timeout, but the damage was done. Luka finished the game with 41 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds, earning the All-Star Game MVP trophy, the first of his career but unlikely to be the last. As the confetti fell and cameras zoomed in, he held the trophy high. The crowd chanted, "MVP, MVP, MVP." In his post-game interview, Luka smiled. "This is special, no doubt. But trust me, I'm saving the real celebration for June." Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, the city lit up. Fans filled the streets wearing his jersey. A new mural was painted overnight downtown. Luka holding the All-Star MVP trophy with the words, "The future is now," splashed in gold. But as the All-Star festivities faded, Luka's mindset shifted instantly. The fun was over. The mission resumed. Back in the Lakers training facility, the message from the coaching staff was simple. Rest time's done. Playoffs are coming. This is where legacies are built. Trade deadline drama had also unfolded during All-Star weekend. The Lakers front office had made a decisive move, acquiring a defensive anchor, a veteran big man with championship experience, to bolster their playoff push. The roster was now sharper, deeper, more balanced. Luka returned to Los Angeles not as a player still proving himself, but as a confirmed superstar. The respect was universal. Opponents started game planning specifically to stop him. Double teams, traps, physicality, nothing was off limits. But Luka welcomed it. "Pressure," he said to reporters at practice, "means you're doing something right." With the postseason in sight, the Lakers were surging. Chemistry clicked. The offense flowed. Defense tightened. Luka's numbers? Ridiculous. Averages hovering around 30 points, 9 assists and 8 rebounds per night, with shooting percentages climbing as he entered one of the hottest stretches of his career. The Lakers climbed into the top 2 in the Western Conference. Fans believed. The city buzzed. But inside the locker room the mindset was different. No one talked about standings. No one celebrated wins. The focus was singular. Banners. Luka stood in front of his team after one particularly gritty win against Denver and said what everyone was thinking. This isn't enough. We're not here to be good. We're here to be great. We're here to hang banners. Nothing else matters. The final stretch of the regular season loomed. Storms were coming, both figuratively and literally. And Luka Doncic was ready to face them all. As March rolled in, the atmosphere shifted. The honeymoon phase was over. The NBA season was entering its most brutal stage, where injuries, fatigue, and pressure collide. Teams fought for playoff seeding, and every mistake became magnified. For Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers, the pressure was suffocating, but it was also fuel. The Lakers were firmly locked into the top 3 of the Western Conference, but the race was tight. One bad week could send them plummeting to 5th or 6th. And the schedule? Ruthless. First, a grueling 5-game road trip. Cities like Milwaukee, Miami, Brooklyn, Toronto, and Boston, all playoff-caliber teams, were waiting ready to test the Lakers' resolve. The first game in Milwaukee was a battle of MVP candidates, Luka versus Giannis. The game was physical, chippy, and brutal. Luka dazzled with his usual bag of tricks, step-backs, floaters, cross-court lasers. But Giannis answered with brute force, relentless drives, and suffocating defense. In the final minute, the Lakers trailed by 1. Luka isolated at the top, drew the double team, and whipped a bullet pass to Austin Reeves in the corner. Splash. The Lakers stole a win 112-110. But the victory came at a cost. Anthony Davis tweaked his ankle, landing awkwardly after a rebound. He was listed as day-to-day, but everyone inside the locker room knew it was more serious than that. It's part of the game, Luka told reporters. Next man up. No excuses. In Miami, the Heat's defense suffocated the Lakers. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and a swarm of help defenders trapped Luka relentlessly. It was one of his worst shooting nights of the season, 6-for-21 from the field. The Lakers lost by 14. The media pounced. Are the Lakers too Luka-dependent? Injuries exposed Lakers' flaws. But the team didn't panic. They regrouped, watched film, and Luka responded like great players do. Against Brooklyn, he dropped 38 points, 14 assists, and 10 rebounds, completely dismantling the Nets' defense with surgical precision. The offense flowed through him like clockwork. Every pass felt intentional. Every shot a dagger. Toronto was next. Another win. Then came Boston. The rivalry between the Lakers and Celtics is the most storied in NBA history. 17 championships each. Decades of battles. Legends made. Hearts broken. The TD Garden was hostile. The Celtics crowd booed Luka every time he touched the ball. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown came out aggressive, pushing the pace and hitting shots from everywhere. The game was tied late in the fourth quarter. Luka, exhausted but locked in, hit a clutch 3 to give the Lakers the lead with under a minute left. But on the next possession, Tatum answered with a tough fadeaway. Final play. Ball in Luka's hands. He drove left, spun right, elevated, blocked. Derek White came from the weak side and swatted the shot away. Buzzer. Lakers lost. The locker room was dead silent. No music. No talking. Just the sound of tape being ripped off ankles and ice bags being applied. LeBron, sitting with ice on both knees, looked at Luka and simply said, "File it. We'll see them again." Back in LA, the team got some relief. A string of home games allowed them to heal. Anthony Davis returned. The new trade acquisition, a veteran shot blocker with a championship pedigree, made his debut and immediately improved their defense. But the wear and tear showed. Luka battled through a nagging wrist injury. Nothing serious, but enough to affect his shooting touch some nights. Still, his mindset never wavered. "If I can walk," he told trainers, "I can play." The Lakers pushed through. Wins over Phoenix, Golden State, and Sacramento followed. But so did losses, a heartbreaking overtime defeat against Minnesota, where Luka fouled out in the final minute. By late March, the standings were a war zone. The Nuggets, Clippers, Suns, and Lakers were all within 2 games of each other. Every possession mattered. Then came the game against the Clippers. Crypto.com arena was split, half purple and gold, half Clippers blue. The battle for LA wasn't just about bragging rights, it had real playoff implications. Luka delivered one of his most iconic performances yet. 45 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds, including a game-winning step-back 3 over Kawhi Leonard with 1.1 seconds left. The building erupted. Lakers fans drowned out the boos. Luka pointed to the floor after the shot, mouthing, "This is my city now." Social media exploded. Memes, highlight reels, debates. Some called it the official changing of the guard in Los Angeles. After the game, reporters asked Luka what that shot meant. He smiled slightly, wiped sweat from his brow, and said, "It means we're ready. Playoffs are coming." And they were. With just 2 weeks left in the regular season, the Lakers were peaking. But the road to a championship would only get harder from here. The playoffs loomed. Destiny awaited. April arrived, and with it came the electricity of the NBA playoffs. The regular season was over. All the stats, all the highlights, all the accolades, they meant nothing now. Everything reset. The real test had begun. The Los Angeles Lakers secured the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, finishing the season with a record of 54-28. It was a remarkable turnaround for a team that had faced injuries, pressure, and skepticism all year long. And at the center of it all was Luka Doncic. Now the real season starts, Luka told reporters during media day before the playoffs began. "This is why I came to LA. This is why we put this team together." The first round, Lakers vs. New Orleans Pelicans. Their opening matchup was against the New Orleans Pelicans, a scrappy, young, athletic team led by Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. They had nothing to lose, and that made them dangerous. Game 1 was a statement. Luka came out surgical. He controlled every possession, exploiting mismatches, directing traffic like a maestro with a baton. He finished with 36 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, leading the Lakers to a 118-102 win. Game 2 was tougher. Zion bullied his way inside. Ingram hit tough shots. The Pelicans took a surprising 8-point lead into the 4th quarter. But Luka responded. He scored 15 straight points, including a step-back 3 over Herbert Jones that sealed the comeback. Lakers up 2-0. The series shifted to New Orleans for Games 3 and 4. Game 3 was a disaster. The Pelicans played desperate. The crowd was raucous. Luka had an off-night shooting, going 8 for 25, and the Lakers fell by 18 points. Game 4 was critical. Lose and the series would be tied. Win and they would regain control. Luka delivered one of his best playoff performances ever. 42 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists. A triple-double masterpiece that silenced the New Orleans crowd. Back in LA for Game 5, the Lakers closed it out. LeBron and Anthony Davis dominated the interior, while Luka orchestrated the offense. The final score, 117-98. Series won 4-1. "One down," Luka said in the locker room. 3 to go. The Western semifinals, Lakers vs. Phoenix Suns. The next challenge was the Phoenix Suns, a star-studded squad with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. A team loaded with firepower, experience, and motivation. Game 1 was a shootout. Luka and Booker traded buckets all night. Durant hit a clutch 3 late, but Luka answered with a step back from 30 feet, cold-blooded. Lakers won 123-119. Game 2 was Phoenix's revenge. The Suns came out firing, hitting 17 threes. Durant scored 41, and the Lakers' defense couldn't keep up. Series tied 1-1. In Game 3 back at home, Luka responded like only superstars do. He dropped 38 points, 14 assists, and 8 rebounds, leading the Lakers to a 112-104 win. Every time the Suns made a run, Luka either found the open man or buried a dagger. Game 4 was pure chaos. Fights. Technical fouls. Durant and Davis both got double-touched after a heated exchange. The game went to overtime. Luka, exhausted, pulled up for a fading three splash. The Lakers won 127-124. Up 3-1 in the series. Phoenix fought back in Game 5, forcing a Game 6. But in that elimination game at Crypto.com Arena, Luka delivered the knockout blow. 40 points, 9 assists and 11 rebounds. The Lakers won by 15. "We're not satisfied," Luka said post-game. "This isn't the goal. The goal's bigger." The Western Conference Finals. Lakers versus Denver Nuggets. And then came the reigning champions, the Denver Nuggets. The team that had eliminated the Lakers the previous year. The team with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray and a chip on their shoulder. Game 1 was a slugfest. Jokic was brilliant, 32 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists. But Luka matched him blow for blow. His 44-point performance, including a fadeaway three with 18 seconds left, gave the Lakers a dramatic 114-111 win. Game 2 was Denver's turn. Jokic was unstoppable. The Lakers struggled with foul trouble and Denver evened the series. Game 3 in Los Angeles was pivotal. Luka went nuclear. 51 points, the highest scoring playoff game in his career. Stepbacks, floaters and filthy crossovers. The crowd was delirious. Lakers took the win. Game 4 was a heartbreaker. Double overtime. Luka fouled out with 45 seconds left in the second OT, and Denver stole the win, tying the series at 2-2. Game 5 was war. Jokic was dominant. Davis battled foul trouble. But Luka carried the load, hitting 7 threes and finishing with 39 points and 11 assists, leading the Lakers to a narrow 118-113 win. Game 6. Home. A chance to close. It was tense. Physical. Every bucket mattered. The lead changed hands 22 times. In the final minute tied game, Luka drew the double and kicked it to LeBron, corner 3, money. The final possession. Denver needed a 3 to tie. Jokic pump-faked, shot, blocked by Davis. Luka grabbed the rebound. Game over. The Lakers were going to the NBA Finals. Confetti fell. Fans screamed. Players hugged. But Luka's eyes were already forward. "This city waits for banners," he said during the trophy ceremony. "We're not done. Not yet." The stage was set. Bright lights. Global cameras. Every NBA fan in the world was locked in. The Los Angeles Lakers, powered by Luka Doncic, were about to face the Boston Celtics, the ultimate rivalry. Both franchises tied at 17 NBA championships each. This wasn't just a battle for the title, it was a war for history. Whoever won would become the most successful franchise in NBA history. "There's nothing bigger than Lakers versus Celtics in the finals," Luka told reporters before Game 1. "This is why I came here. This is why I put on this jersey." Game 1, the wake-up call. The series opened at TD Garden in Boston. The Celtics came out blazing. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White played like men possessed. Their defense was suffocating. Every time Luka touched the ball, 2 defenders were on him. Luka struggled early. Missed shots. Turnovers. Fatigue. The crowd roared with every mistake. The Lakers tried to keep pace, but Boston's ball movement was surgical. Open threes rained down like daggers. Final score. Celtics 121, Lakers 101. Blowout. "They punched us first," Luka admitted. "We'll punch back." Game 2, statement made. Luka bounced back like champions do. From the opening tip he was locked in, laser-focused. He hit back-to-back step-back threes to silence the crowd. His passing was next level. No-look dimes. Skip passes to shooters. Pocket feeds to Davis in the post. By halftime, Luka had 28 points and 7 assists. The Lakers led by 15. Boston made a run in the fourth, cutting it to 3. But then Luka delivered the dagger, a fadeaway 3 over Drew Holiday at the buzzer of the shot clock. The arena went silent. Final score. Lakers 116, Celtics 109. Series tied 1-1. Told you, Luka said walking off the court. We punched back. Game 3, home court home cooking. Back in Los Angeles, the energy was electric. Crypto.com arena was louder than ever. Celebrities lined the front rows. Everyone from Jack Nicholson to Snoop Dogg to Jay-Z was courtside. Game 3 was a masterpiece from Luka. He controlled everything. When the Celtics pressured him, he slipped bounce passes to cutters. When they sagged, he splashed threes in their face. His stat line? 40 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. Near perfection. Davis dominated inside. LeBron was vintage. Austin Reeves hit big shots. The Lakers won 119-105. They now led the series 2-1. Game 4, the heartbreaker. Boston wasn't going quietly. The Celtics flipped the script. Tatum exploded for 38 points, while Brown added 33. Their defense forced Luka into rare mistakes, misreads, turnovers, and a late-game airball. With the game tied in the final seconds, Luka tried to drive, but Derek White stripped him. Fast break. Jaylen Brown dunked it home with 3 seconds left. Lakers couldn't respond. Celtics won 108-106. Series tied 2-2. The finals were now a best of 3. Game 5, the Luka legacy game. Back in Boston, the pressure was suffocating. The Celtics fans smelled blood. But Luka? Ice cold. He delivered a game that would be replayed for generations. 52 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds. He hit 9 three-pointers, including a ridiculous logo shot in the third quarter that silenced the entire arena. Every time Boston made a run, Luka crushed their hopes. Step-backs, floaters, bully ball post-ups, and one-legged fadeaways. LeBron after the game, "That's one of the greatest finals performances I've ever witnessed. Ever." Final score. Lakers 124, Celtics 117. Lakers lead the series 3-2. One more, Luka whispered post-game. One more. Game 6, 48 minutes for immortality. Back in LA, the city was buzzing. Streets were packed. Murals of Luka had popped up across the city with the words, "Do it for 18. A nod to the 18th championship within reach. Game 6 was war. Boston came out desperate. Tatum hit threes. Brown attacked the rim. The Celtics led by 12 at halftime. But then came the third quarter, Luka time. He scored 18 points in the third alone. Floaters. Pull-ups. Bullet passes. He found Davis for lobs and LeBron for corner threes. The Lakers clawed back, taking a 4-point lead into the fourth. The final quarter was chaos. Lead changes. Missed free throws. Turnovers. The tension was unbearable. With 38 seconds left, Lakers led by 2. Celtics had the ball. Tatum drove, blocked by Davis. LeBron grabbed the rebound and passed ahead to Luka. Boston fouled. Luka stepped to the line. First free throw, swish. Second free throw, nothing but net. Lakers up 4. Boston missed their next shot. Davis grabbed the rebound. The crowd rose. The buzzer sounded. It was over. Final score. Lakers 112, Celtics 106. The city erupts. Confetti rained down. Fans flooded the streets of Los Angeles. Fireworks exploded over the skyline. The Lakers were NBA champions. Their 18th title, the most in league history. Luka collapsed to the floor, arms raised, overwhelmed. LeBron hugged him. Davis hugged them both. When Adam Silver handed Luka the Finals MVP trophy, the arena erupted. This is what I dreamed about as a kid in Slovenia, Luka said, tears in his eyes. Lakers Nation, this is for you. We made history. The morning after the confetti fell, Los Angeles woke up different. Billboards all across the city flashed. Champions. 18 banners. History made. Luka. LeBron. Davis. Immortal. The parade was scheduled within 48 hours. But even before that, the NBA world was buzzing, not just about the championship but about what this title meant for Luka Doncic's career, for the Lakers franchise, and for the league as a whole. A new king in Hollywood. In the press conference following Game 6, Luka sat next to the Larry O'Brien Trophy and the Finals MVP trophy. His face was still flushed with adrenaline, but his voice was steady. When I arrived here, people asked me if I could handle the pressure of being a Laker. Of following the footsteps of Kobe, Magic, Kareem? This right here? He tapped the trophy. This is my answer. There was no denying it now. Luka Doncic had officially become the face of the Los Angeles Lakers. Not just a star, but a legend. The kid from Slovenia had climbed the mountain in Hollywood and planted his flag on top. The parade, A City United. The streets of downtown LA were oceans of gold and purple. Fans chanted Luka's name from rooftops. Thousands held signs. Luka is him. Luka era. King of LA. On stage, Luka wore sunglasses, a backwards Lakers cap, and the biggest smile anyone had seen. He held the mic and laughed. This city is crazy. I love it. You guys, we made history together. And guess what? We're not done. We're gonna run it back. The crowd erupted. Davis nodded. LeBron threw his arms up and smiled. This, Luka added, is just the beginning. A historic season in the record books. Luka's playoff run instantly entered the history books. 31.7 points, 9.8 assists, 8.5 rebounds per game, some of the greatest finals numbers ever. 3 game winners, including one in Game 5 of the finals. Finals MVP in his first year with the Lakers. First player since Kobe to drop 50-plus in an NBA Finals game for the Lakers. Analysts were already debating, is Luka already a top 50 player all-time? Some even whispered, top 30? A new chapter for the Lakers. Behind the scenes, the Lakers front office, now led by Mark Walter with Jeannie Buss still closely involved, was moving fast. They offered Luka the Supermax contract extension, $315 million over 5 years. Luka accepted it without hesitation. This is my home now, he said. We've got banners to hang. Conversations began about strengthening the roster. Role players were secured. New talents eyed Los Angeles as the destination. Suddenly, being a Laker wasn't just about legacy, it was about competing for titles every single year. LeBron's decision, passing the torch. After the parade, LeBron sat down for an ESPN exclusive. This was the perfect way to go out if it is the end, he said with a smile. I always said, when I knew the team was in good hands I'd feel peace. And with Luka here? Yeah, the Lakers are in great hands. Whether LeBron retired or returned for one more year, the message was clear, the torch had been passed. The global Luka effect. Back in Slovenia, Luka's hometown of Ljubljana held its own parade. Murals were painted. Kids wore Lakers jerseys with #77 Doncic on the back. Across Europe, basketball viewership skyrocketed. In China, Africa, Australia, Luka had become a global icon transcending the sport itself. NBA merchandise sales shattered records. Luka jerseys outsold even LeBron's. The NBA officially entered a new era, the Luka era. Reflections and the road ahead. In a quiet moment weeks after the finals, Luka sat in an empty Crypto.com arena. No cameras. No fans. Just him staring up at the rafters. The championship banner wasn't raised yet. That would happen on opening night next season. But Luka imagined it. Visualized it. One banner, he whispered to himself. It's never enough. His phone buzzed. A message from Anthony Davis. Jim in 30? Luka smiled. Already here. The legacy begins. As the off-season began, one thing was crystal clear. Luka Doncic wasn't done. Not even close. The championship wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a dynasty.